Hi and welcome. I'm David Wiles, I'm the Painting Policeman, and a big welcome goes out to those customers and friends of the Craft Taproom in Liverpool. After all, this is all for you. I hope you've received your boxes full of goodies because together we're going to paint, hopefully, a nice landscape in the alla prima technique. That's called direct painting, that's what it means. And of course you and I know it as the wet and wet technique. This was championed by the late Bill Alexander and the late great Bob Ross through his many programmes. I'm sure you have watched The Joy of Painting. So you're in good company. So let's see what we've got today. What we have up here, I'm going to look at the canvas first. I have a 30 by 40 centimetre canvas sheet. It's attached by tape to my MDF board attached to the easel. Now then, when it comes to canvases, there's numerous types. You've got the sheets, you've got canvas board, and of course you've got stretch canvas. The stretch canvas is the most expensive, the canvas sheet is obviously the cheapest. Things to remember when you are buying canvases, whether it's board sheet or stretched, do make sure it's at least double primed or triple primed. The technique we're using relies on these canvases being primed. If they're not, and when we put the thin white oil paint on, I'm going to refer to it as liquid white, when that goes on and it's not been primed, seriously it'll just suck it all in and you'll just have a dry surface more or less. You won't be able to mix and move those paints, the thicker paints. So it's got to be at least double primed or triple primed. Okay, so that there is your canvas. Now then, the equipment you've got is pretty limited, isn't it? You should have with you a fan brush, a 2-inch brush, and a palette knife. That's what you should have, okay? So there we go. If I keep saying okay, I do apologise for ever saying okay. Okay? It's all good fun. It's all good fun. You've got a limited palette as well with regard to paints. You've got some Van Dyke Brown, Prussian Blue, and Titanium White. We'll be using all three colours, obviously. Because of those colours, the actual painting is going to be kind of greys. A cold painting with snow, obviously your mountains and the trees, and a little surprise at the end. Okay, other things, he's saying it again, other things you want to have handy, certainly you want some kitchen roll. That's got to be handy because you're going to be cleaning your brushes. Also, I use odourless thinners to clean my brushes. It might be that you may not have that and you may be using something like Terps or White Spirit. Now if you do, please keep the lid on. You will be, well, you won't be Mr. or Mrs. Popular if you're in the lounge or if you're in the kitchen of your house and the top's off and the smell of Terps permeates through the house. So yeah, if you do have some, just keep the top on. You won't be using it that much, hopefully, more so for the fan brush rather than the 2-inch brush. All right, I think we're ready to go. Oh, and just a little tip too, baby wipes. They're really good to have around for cleaning oil off your hands. I mean, I wear gloves, but they really are handy for cleaning off your hands or even off your palette or whatever. And they're also soft on the skin, so you're okay. Okay then, let's crack on. You will have some liquid white. That is what we're going to put on to the canvas now. Okay, so get your 2-inch brush, have some liquid white on your palette. You're going to dip into your liquid white and we're going to apply it onto the canvas. Now, there is technique to this. I'm just going to get my brush now. I'm just going to share with you very quickly. The brush I'm going to use is not going to be the 2-inch I showed you. It's going to be my other 2-inch, which I've had since I started painting in this technique. I'd just like to show you how, through wear and tear, you can see how you do reduce the bristles. But I'm just going to use this. It's just a keepsake. I get quite fond of it. I didn't want to throw it away. So I'm going to dip into my liquid white. Now the liquid white, I'll put it on my palette. I'll show you it. Please make sure it is a liquid white you're going to take and not the titanium white. That's a thick white, okay? So all we're going to do is just get some paint on that 2-inch brush and we're going to go up onto the canvas. Now when you do this, if you've got an easel, that's great. Please hold on to the easel, because seriously, you've got to put some real pressure on this paintbrush and onto this canvas. Okay, so let's do it. So that's crisscross strokes. Do you see that? Crisscross strokes. I am not flicking off, I'm flicking this way, okay? Because if you have your beard open or any drink beside you, I can tell you now it will get speckled with white oil paint. This is thin, so you really got to work the paint into the weave, but keep the brush on the canvas. I'm not taking it off, I'm just turning it like so, and I'm applying an awful lot of pressure there, okay? Just keep it going and take it right across, cover the whole canvas. Oh, I was going to say okay again. So keep it going, really work it in. Go back, get more if you need it. I'm just going to quickly do mine. But the brush is staying on the canvas all the time, and I'm really working hard into this canvas, the weave of the canvas. That's why I'm keeping hold of this thing, and this is a sturdy easel, this. Okay, so if you've got a wooden easel, really hold on to it, or else you'll find the thing flying off the table. If you're working down on top of it, again, just try and keep hold of the canvas. If it just means in a corner, just keep hold of it, because the canvas will move with the pressure you are applying. Let me just finish off in that corner. Now then, when you think you've done it, one way of checking is looking down the side of the canvas, and you will see if there's any areas where you've not hit, there'll be kind of a matte colour. It won't be shiny. All right. Another way of checking, this is something to bear in mind when you may be working with a bigger canvas as well, is a fingerprint test. Now the fingerprint test is using please use 4 different fingers as well, not the same one, but just 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of not straight in the corner, but you know, just around it, 4 sides. Look at your fingers, and if you've got a clear fingerprint, you know you're okay with it. If it's a blob, you can't see anything just other than paint, you've got too much off, get some kitchen roll and just wipe off. And if you've checked and there's absolutely nothing on your finger, or very little, you want to put a bit more paint there. And that's just a simple way of doing it. Once you're happy with your canvas now covered, just take some horizontal strokes right across, and then vertical strokes up and down. And there you go. That's it. You're done. Once you've done that, just dry clean your brush. I'm not going to tell you to go to your terps at this point. I'm telling you to dry clean your brush. Okay. There we go. Now then, we're going to do some painting now, aren't we? We're going to do some painting. What we're going to do first of all, we're going to mix our colours. It is important to mix these colours first. We're going to make what is called a mother mix. That's the basic grey, mixed with your Prussian blue and your Van Dyke brown. Throughout the painting, we'll be taking bits of that away, adding white to it to lighten it, but that's our mother mix. Okay, he says it again. Knife you're going to use. I'll bring it up here so you can see what I'm going to be doing. Oh, there we go. We don't not bother with the white at the moment. So I've got my my Van Dyke brown over here, which is quite a bit, and my Prussian blue. You're going to be working more with Van Dyke browns. We need more Van Dyke brown than we need blue. So I'm going to take not all of it, quite a bit of it, quite a bit of it. You can see how much I've got there. There's quite a bit there, and I'm just going to pull there. Now the reason why I'm not taking it all is simply because that is for the surprise later at the end of the painting, if we get that far. Okay, so then I'm going to get some, I'll just wipe the knife. I'm now going to get some blue, okay? So I'm just going to take that much, not taking that much at all, just a little bit. Can you see that? Yeah, yeah. And then just mix it with the brown. Not too much blue, because we can always go back for the blue. Because the blue is much stronger than the brown, if we put too much blue into the brown, then the colour, we won't be able to get that nice grey colour. And it's a devil then to get it back to the grey using the brown. We'd have to use far more brown again. So yeah, always start off with the main colour, which is the brown, and just add little bits of blue as you're going along. Don't put, whatever you do, all that blue in. Now you can see I've got quite a bit here, which is what I want. There we go. Now then, I'm just going to wipe off my knife on some kitchen roll. There we go. I'm just going to take, this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to get just some white, put some white up there, and I'm going to take a little bit of that colour just mixed. There you go, just a little bit. I'm just going to go up there. Now then, you can see now, you can see now, I've added the white, now I can see what colour I've got. Now if I want it to be a bit more bluey, I add a bit more blue. If I'm happy with that colour, that kind of grey colour, I can leave it. That's entirely up to you. This is, remember, please remember, this is your painting. So that's the colour I've got there. Can you see the grey there? As I say, if you want to go a bit more blue, what you do is just get a little bit of blue, just a little bit more blue, there we go, and mix it in again. Okay, mix it in. It's entirely up to you, depends where you want to be with your painting. Make sure it's properly, there we are. Again, just wipe off the knife. Again, take a little bit up there. I'm going to get a little bit of white again. There we go. And then just mix it. And you can see there, you can probably, I don't know if you can see the two different colours. Yeah, and that's just with a little bit more, that was just with a little bit more blue. So it just goes to show you how strong that blue is. I'm going to keep it like that now. So that there is my mother mix. So I'm going to put it up here out the way. There we are. A lot of it, but we need it throughout the painting. Right, now we've got that mix done. I'm going to wipe my knife again. And now what we're going to do, we're going to pull, there we go, we're going to pull the colours. Now the white, I'm just going to grab hold of just a little bit of that white. Okay, not all of it, just a little bit. I'm going to press down with my, look my finger on that knife. I'm really pressing down on there and I'm just pulling it out so I can see my white. There's my white paint. I do that with the brown. Not much of it left. There we go. And I also do it with my blue. There we go. Okay. Now the mother mix is already pulled out. So there we go. That's the palette. We're all ready to go. Let's get those out of the way so I'm not mixing them up with anything. There you are, you've got the four colours. You've got your white, you've got your Prussian blue. There's the mother mix, the big one, and there's your Van Dyke brown. And we've still got some liquid white down here. Good. Now then, what we're going to do now we've got all that out of the way, I'm actually going to zoom the camera in. There's only one camera running at this moment in time, so I'm just going to zoom the camera in onto the canvas so you can see what I'm doing, if that's okay. I don't want you counting how many times I say okay. Okay. Oh, dearie David. Let's crack on. What we're going to do first of all, we're going to create a sky. Now we're going to do the sky, but the thing that we're going to use first is actually some Prussian blue. We're going to use the Prussian blue on that 2-inch on the fan brush. So I'm just going to tap in, and I'm just getting a little bit. I'm sorry about this, folks. I'm hoping you can see it all. There's my fan brush. There's the blue. And I'm just going to tap in like so. Just get a little bit of paint. Not much, just a little bit of paint on the fan brush. You can see there's not much on there at all. Up onto the canvas. Now we're going to put in the sky. We're going to have little bits of blue coming through. Say it just being a grey sky. So that's all I'm going to do. So I'm just going to put some blues in there. Rather haphazard, doesn't matter where they go. There we go. Okay. You can put as many in as you like or as few in as you like. I've just dry cleaned. Just take a kitchen roll and just dry clean the the fan brush. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take that 2-inch brush, make sure that it really is nice and dry. You've used a liquid white, but make sure you've taken that liquid white off the brush. We don't want to use the thinners at this moment in time. Once you've done that, you're going to go into, well, we're going to first of all mix some of that mother mix. Just take a little bit of that mother mix over to your white. And what we're going to do, we're going to add some of that white, because we don't want it too dark. Okay, just pull that on there, just pull some white out and just, there we go. Okay, we don't want it too dark in the sky, but it's entirely up to you. If you want it dark in the sky, then you do it dark. You do it dark. I'm just going to add just a little bit more white to that. There we go. Also, to remember, when you put this up onto the sky, you've already got the liquid white there, so it will lighten anyway. There we go. Now then, 2-inch brush. I'm just going to tap into it. That's why I pull the paint down. Just tapping into it and just get covering those bristles. As you hear me tapping. There we go. I'm going to put my palette down now, and I'm just going to go up here. I'm going to start in the corners. Okay, because that's where it tends to be darker. And as I'm doing this, you can see what I'm doing. I'm just doing crisscross strokes going across. I'm putting the more pressure I put on, the darker it becomes. Okay, so the more pressure I put on, the darker it becomes. The lighter the pressure, the lighter it becomes. Keep cleaning your brush between each dip into the paint, simply because what's happening is as you're doing that, you're picking up liquid white there anyway, so just wipe it, get some more paint and dance the brush across. There's nothing special about this. All I'm doing is just dancing the brush across the canvas. Looks a bit iffy at the moment. Don't worry about that. You want lights and darks. That's what you want. There we go. Put it between. You can turn the brush that side, that way, as you come between the blues. And as it comes further down to the horizon, it gets lighter. Now it does look a bit of a pickle there, a bit of a mess. Just take the excess paint off. And what you're going to do now is just gently blend that sky. So gently blend it. Let the blues go into the greys. Let the blues go into the greys. There you go. So it just looks like we've got a bit of blue sky creeping through the grey of the clouds. If you're unsure about areas, you want it a bit darker, just go back into your colour, that dark grey, and just darken it. There you go, just darken it. We are going to put some clouds in, so don't worry too much about it. I'll put some on the other side. Your corner, you tend to find when you're putting your, oh, lost that blue. You tend to find when you're putting the, when you're doing the painting like the landscape, you're doing your clouds, your sky should I say, always make sure it's kind of darker at the sides, yeah? And maybe darker at the top as well. And then as it comes down, it gets lighter. All right, so all I'm going to do now, having done that, is just quite simply dry clean that 2-inch brush. Take off that excess paint. Now then, we're now going to put some clouds in. Now this is where, with your fan brush, you're going to clean it in your thinners. You need to take that blue paint off. So if you excuse me, I'll just go to my thinners, just give it a twist and a twirl, and then make sure that I dry it off properly. The last thing you want is thinners remaining on that brush. So do dry it off. And notice what I'm doing, I'm just pulling it up like so, pulling it up. Okay, now then I want you to pull out some of that white paint with your knife. Make sure the knife is nice and clean. You do not want to be contaminating your paint. I'm sorry I'm out of view, but there you go, I'm back in. It's just, I want you to see the painting rather than see me, which I'm sure you probably all agree with. So we're going to get some paint. Let me show you. So there's the paint, there's the white paint there, and I'm just taking the fan brush into it and making sure I'm loading it nicely. There you go, got a nice paint on there. Put my palette down. And we're going to do some clouds. Now then, clouds are free. I like to do them around the blue. There we go. Once you've done each cloud, just wipe the excess off again, because you don't want to contaminate your white as you go back into it to pick some more white paint up. If you don't clean it, you'll take that colour into the white. So we're going to put some up here as well. There we go. Wipe it off. I'll bring some in there, I think. Ooh. Down it comes, just twisting that brush. Nothing special, I'm twirling the brush. It's important that when you do this, you've got to be free with it. Cleaning the brush. If you notice too how I'm holding the brush, I'm not holding the brush like this. I'm literally holding it at the end. And holding it at the end is giving me more freedom. There you go, more freedom. Once I've done on that side, I turn it over because I've got more paint on that side. There we go. Whee. Wipe it off. Back in again. And we'll bring some in there. Ooh, that can go through the paint. Now all we're interested in is the top edge. That's all we're interested in. We're not interested in the bottom edge. Now with clouds, don't worry about shape or anything like that. Bring some down here. Just let it roll. Clouds are very free. So whatever shape you put up there on that sky yours, it doesn't matter. Because somewhere, I can assure you, in this world will be a cloud just like that. Yeah, sure, David. Yeah, seriously. Mind you, we get all sorts up there, believe you me. There we go. Okay, now once you've done that, you're going to get your 2-inch brush. Again, make sure it's nice and dry. And we're going to catch the bottoms of the clouds. That's all we're bothered about, the bottoms. So I'm just gently with that 2-inch brush, just catching the bottom. Okay, and just twirling it round. The important bit at the tops of the clouds, that's what the important bit is to us. And all you're doing is blending the bottom bit into the sky itself. That's all you're doing. Okay, and once you've done that, again, clean off that excess, you're then going to catch these strokes to, well, just catch the tops of those, the top of the of your clouds. That's all you're doing, just catching the top with your 2-inch brush. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. If you feel it might have an issue, don't do it. But it's quite nice just to catch the tops. And once you've done that, you then take the brush gently across the whole of your painting. and it blends all those clouds into your sky. And you have this nice diffused area. Those are your clouds. If you wanted to, you could add more by exactly the same technique using your white paint. And if you wanted to, say you can bring that one down into there. Do what you like. There we go. Just to break up that line there. And I'll do exactly the same, just catch the bottom and then just lift up. Woo. And then take it across. But you can play with these clouds to your heart's content. You really can. So the trouble is, once you get used to doing them, you never stop. You never stop. When you're painting this technique, you've got to know when to stop. Seriously, folks, you've got to know when to stop, or else you can overdo it. And if you overdo it, you'll be disappointed because suddenly you find your things just turn into mush because you've just put too much paint on there. So do be careful. Do be careful. Okay, so we've got the sky in, so we're going to put some water in as well. Again, you're going to be using that that same colour for the sky. Just take a little bit out and just add a little bit of blue with it. Just add a little bit of blue with it. Not much. Not much. Let me show you, for goodness sake. Yeah. So we've just added a little bit of blue. There's a mother mix, but that's the colour we've used for the sky, and I've just added a little bit of blue to it. You can just make out of it that blue. With a 2-inch brush again, tapping in. And now what we're going to do now, we're going to create the water. We always start at the bottom. And we're pulling in, like so. That's all we're doing, just pulling in. I pull it in toward the centre, but don't take it right across. The reason being is I like to have a little bit of a shimmer in my water. Now you'll see what I mean. Just give it a bit more paint. There we go. Notice too that the water is straight. We don't want it running off. I mean, if it goes at an angle, it'll be down there. It'll be dripping off your canvas. Now we're pulling from this side and just lifting off before I get to that centre again. There you go. Just one more go. Making sure we got enough paint on the brush and just pull it in. Okay, so we've now got that shimmer. So now that we've done that, the one thing you don't want to do, just a tip, one thing you don't want to do is start there in the middle of your painting and pull, because you get this horrible line which you don't want. So always pull in from the sides, that way and that way. Just dry clean the brush and then take it right across now. Right across. There we go. Right across. And there's your water. So we've got the water, we've got the clouds, sky. We're so far ahead with this painting now, aren't we? So that's pretty good. If you got to this stage and it's looking like that, brilliant. Again, don't worry too much about your clouds. Just make sure that the water's nice and straight. Let's move on. And we're going to move on to the mountains. The mountains can cause a lot of heartache. The colour we're going to be using, of course, is the mother mix. There we go, that one there. You're going to use your knife. Ta-da! And we're going to put the mountain on our canvas. So you're going to get a roll of paint. Pull the paint out flat. Pull the paint out flat. Look at the pressure I'm applying there. You're just going to take a roll of paint. Just a roll of paint, that's all you're doing, is putting that roll of paint on the knife. And then you're going to decide where you're going to have your mountain. Now normally we don't, the biggest, we've got 2 peaks, maybe 3. Never put the big one plumb middle if you can help it. Always go to the right or the left. I'm going to go to the right, just slightly to the right. And there we go. He's up, that's our mountain. And I'm bringing him down. And you can make him as big as you like, or as little as you like. It's entirely up to. This is your painting. People always say to me, oh, once you've done your first pass with your knife, again, just wipe the excess off and go and get another roll. So this is going to come down here, and let's see, I'll just angle it a little bit more like so. You can do as you like here. There we go. That's our main mounting. And all you're doing is wiping the knife and then going back for some more paint. And you're going to create your second peak, which is going to be here. There we go. And that is just going to go off there. We don't know where. We're not worried about it. He's going to do his own thing. There we go. Just make sure that's nice and straight. Now the key thing is it's the actual shape. It's the top edge of the mountain. That's the important bit. We're not too worried about what goes on down here or there. It's the top edge. So do try and make sure that that is reasonably neat and tidy. Now I'm going to be cheeky. I'm going to put one up here as well. There we go. And that is now going to, and when you do this, that's going to go off like so. There we go. Now the great thing about this is, if you're not happy with something, just for example say, well, blooming heck, this David, it's the same size as that one. We don't want that, do we? No, perhaps not. So if that's the case, dead easy. Dead easy, watch this. Woo! We just changed the shape, we changed the height. There we go. Don't make it too complicated for yourself, by the way. It's not too bad for me because I've been doing it for a bit longer than perhaps you have, and seriously, some of these mountains can grow. I remember doing it one time with one of my students, or he was in the workshop. There's about 6 of them, and I always remember, because he's a close friend of mine and he hates mountains, absolutely hates mountains. So I said, right, we're doing 3 peaks. So we did the 3 peaks. I showed him how to do it up there. I'll go around, walking around, see how they're going on, and seriously folks, he'd done 7. He'd done 7 peaks, and I looked at him and thought, but you don't like mountains. He says, I know, I got carried away. But we quickly made those 7 peaks into 3. So there we go. So we've done the peaks. That's all we're interested in. Now we're just going to scrape off the excess. I've been doing this as I've been putting the mountains in, the excess paint off. Now seriously, you do need to do this. You do need to do this, because when we start putting the highlight on and the shadow, we want it to stick on. So, but if there's too much paint on there in the first place, putting a thick paint on top of another thick paint, it's not going to work. So do make sure you scrape off. Like I said, the most important bit is the actual ridge shape of the mountain. If it's all up and down, up and down, up and down, pyramid type, do not worry about that either. People say to me, well, oh no, mountains aren't like that. Seriously, they are. A lot of mountains have a peak, and it's just straight up and down. So if your mountains are like that, great. Just because mine are like this doesn't mean, oh, they're nothing like David's. Don't worry, please. Don't make a hard job for yourself, whatever you do. Now, okay, so once we've got the outline done and the basic shape of our mountain, we're going to pull that paint now. So we've scraped off as much as we can. 2-inch brush again. Just give it a good dry clean. Put it down. Using the top corner or the bottom corner of your brush. Put it onto the not like so, just on the side. Put it onto the canvas and then just pull that paint down. Be quite firm with it. Okay, and then turn the brush on the other side and pull it this way. Do make sure you don't have any stray hairs going above the your ridge line. Just be careful with that one. Go up here and then just pull that down like so. Pull it down like so. Pull that down. Exactly the same here. And then pull it down and off it comes. Okay, and then just give it a nice brush at the bottom. So you're creating mist already, and there you've got your nice mountains. Now some people actually leave it like that. And they're quite happy to leave it nice and dark. I'm happy with that. But we're not. No, we're not going to get away with that. We're now going to put some highlight on. So you're going to pull down that white paint, like so. You're going to cut into it like so. Get your nice roll of paint. And then we're going to go, nice roll of paint. And then we're going to go to this mountain here. We're just going to go just to the top of him, plant the knife on there, and then just gently pull down. And as we pull him down, we then begin to flatten the knife. By the time we get to the bottom, we're nice and flat. The key thing about putting the highlight on, I'm just going to go back and get another roll, is how you hold the brush, how you hold the knife. 2 fingers. Yeah, do not put any pressure on the blade. If you put pressure on the blade, you tend to find all the paint will come off all at once at the top. So keep it like so. When you put the knife onto the canvas, you'll feel the paint coming off as you start dragging it down. So you come in at just slightly above 90 degrees, below 90 degrees, and then as you go into it, just sit it on and gently start to pull the knife down. And as you're doing it, you're twisting your wrist, and you feel that paint coming off. Feel that paint coming off. And as you get toward the bottom, your knife is more or less parallel with the canvas itself. Once you've done that, we will create a shadow mix. Now that means using some of the white, taking it over, and we're going to bring a little bit of the blue. Just a little bit, hardly any. I'm just going to put it on there. There we go. A little bit more. And just a little bit more perhaps. Now if you're picking up some of that grey colour from there, that's absolutely fine. There we go. Okay, it is streaked. It is streaked. Sorry. It is streaked, there it is. With some of that light colour. And there's your blue. So all I'm going to do, this is the shadow, is just going to get my knife, another roll of paint on the knife, just another roll of paint on the knife. I'm going to come up to this side. Now you're going to go up to the top of the peak. Yeah, meet the whites, introduce yourself, and then just gently pull away towards you. Clean your knife and take some more paint. And you're just going up to where the white is and then just pulling away. That's all you're doing. Now all we're going to do now, just put a little bit more blue down here. There we go. Right the way down. And if you want to, you can put a little bit more white paint up there. Just down here, there we go. Now then, we're going to move to this big mountain now. So all you're doing, make sure your white paint is nicely pulled out. Take your knife across, get a nice roll of paint. Nice roll of paint on your knife. Go to the top. And I'm just going to tap in, there we go, and as it comes down, let the paint come off the knife and pull in, let the knife come all the way down, following my angles, and I'm taking it right across that blue, and down it comes. Wipe the knife, go back in, I'm going to do the same up here as well. We're going to go to this peak here, grab hold of it, and then we're going to bring it down, let it join there, flat the knife, let it come down, all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. That's all we're doing. Now just because I might just put some more in here, just to push that other mountain back, make sure it goes back. There we go. Once I've done that, I'm going to get the blue paint. Now then, just before we go any further, I've got this mountain here. So that mountain, I want this mountain in front of this mountain. So what we do first of all is we put the white on this mountain here, and then we'll put the blue on. You'll see what I mean. So again, pull that white out, get that nice roll of paint, and all we're going to do is just touch there. There it goes. Ooh. And let it come down. Okay. Now then, once we've done that, we're going to get the blue paint, the shadow paint, nice roll of paint, and then we're going to come up on this side, and we're going to go up to the top, and then just follow it down, all the way down. There it comes, let it come away here. Again, just get that paint, nice roll of paint, and then we'll just, there it comes, woo! There it goes. Okay. Now then, having done that, watch what I do now. I then go to my roll of blue paint again, the shadow mix, and watch what I do. I'm going to put it up here, I'm going to follow the contour of that mountain, and then I'm going to bring it in front of that one. You see how that sets that one back now? See how it sets it back? And we'll bring some more here. There we go. You can play with these mountains to your heart's content once you get the technique. It pushes that one back. Okay. Just put a bit more of that shadow mix in. Down here. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to start playing around with the, let's get some shadow in there. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now then, we can put some shadow up here. Yeah, where I left it rather dark. There we go. And it goes. Yeah. And then we can put some in here if you wish. Just break up that colour, the white. And then you can play around with the white colour as well. So you can bring something like so, and you can literally change the shape of your mountain. You can literally change the shape of your mountain just by these gentle strokes. As you can see, it's just the paint going on, and I'm just reshaping my mountain. So you get a nice roll of paint on, pull that white out, get a nice roll of paint on, and just gently stroke. Gently stroke. There you go. Like I say, you can play to your heart's content. You can do some over here as well. Just by gently stroking some white paint on, you can just break up the shape of the mountains. And that's it. And let's just do one more here. You can put an angle like that. It can come down like so. And then we can put a little, just get some blue paint there. And that can come like so. Okay, so that's your mountain. Yeah, I hope it's been a bit different. I appreciate that. It's been quite a complicated mounting. You can make it as complicated as you like. Once you've done that, you're then going to clean that 2-inch brush, and following the angles of your mounting, so with the shadow, it's obviously going up that way, you're just going to tap the bottom of the mountain out. Now the highlight obviously is up here, and all you're doing is just tapping, just gently tapping. And once you've done that, just clean the brush. You're then going to pull 2 hairs and some hair, just gently pulling up. And gently pulling that way as well. And then just take out the bottom, there we go. Just create the mist. There we go. And you should have a nice little range of mountings. Okay, so there are your mountings. Now then, we're going to put some foothills in. It's all gold, isn't it? Foothills. What you're going to use, we'll just take that blue. Ooh, can't see, can you? There we go. Just take that blue out of the way. Don't need that anymore. You're going to use the light mix, which is this one here, but we're just going to darken it a little. So go to your mother mix and just darken it a little. There we go. Just darkening it. There we are. Now then, your 2-inch brush, again, just dry clean your 2-inch brush. Work it into that kitchen roll. And now, you're going to tap in. Again, just tap in with that 2-inch brush. You're going to tap in that 2-inch brush. There we go, into that mix you've just made. And we're going to put some foothills in. And all we're going to do is just tap the basic shape. Okay? Now don't go, you can go reasonably high, but don't go too high because of your mist. You want to see the mist, and we can just bring it down here like so. Now then, once you've done that, you can just tap out the bottom. Keep it nice and straight as best you can. There we go. Okay. Now then, with the brush, you're going to gently pull the top of that paint you just put on. And what it will do, give the impression there's some trees in the distance. That's all you're doing it for. And there you go. Also too, what you can do is that you can just pull the bottom down. Just catch, making sure you're nice and straight. And what you're doing is you're creating, as you've guessed, you're creating reflections. Now obviously the further it comes down, so the further you move across, you reflect on the top, so it's going to be more down here, pull more down here than you do at the top, at the end here. Again, once you've done that, just dry clean that brush, take the excess paint off, and from this direction, just gently pull across and create your shadows. Once you've done that, you're now going to get your liquid white, the liquid white, okay? Only a little bit on your knife. A very small amount on your knife. There you go, just a small amount. And all you're going to do is create a waterline. Alright, now make sure it's nice and straight. Now if you can see my head, I do apologise. I do apologise for that. You just rub this into the weave of the, oh David, into the weave. That's the other thing about using this canvas sheet, it's a beggar. There we go. Okay, once we've done that, we're now going to put another one in. It's exciting stuff this, isn't it? Now then, let's just clear that there. There we go. 2-inch brush again, and the colour we've just used for that one, we're just going to darken it. That colour there, we're just going to darken it a little bit more, because the forward you're coming, the darker things are going to be. The further things are away, it's like the further they are, just get my teeth in, the further they are away, they tend to be lighter. So as we come toward the front, we make that mix a little bit darker. 2-inch brush again, make sure it's nice and dry, nice and clean, dry clean it, and just tap into that darker paint. And all you're going to do is quite simply put another footil in over here. That's all you're going to do. And that should go straight across that one there. Ooh, right across it. Oh great, David, thank you. I've just spent all that time putting that nice liquid white down and you've just done that to me. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Okay, again, just flick up. There we go. And then just pull down again. Just turn the brush the other way. Dry clean again. And just take it across from this side, nice and gently. Nice and gently. And then we're just going to give some liquid white again. Just a small amount of liquid white. I steady it with with one hand and then just take it across. Try to keep it nice and straight. So excuse me if my head is in the way. Hope it isn't. But if it is, I do apologise. There we go. Alright. Now then, if you wanted to, you can just put some nice little water lines in. Just again, just get your white paint and just, there we go. Nice little water lines. Nice little water lines. Okay. Right. Once we've done that, oh, this is it now, folks. We're going to put some trees in. Now what you're going to do again, you must clean this fan brush. Clean your fan brush, but you want to take that white off from your clouds. Once you've cleaned it, dry it off, make sure you dry it properly. Pull, pull, there we go. Now then, we're going to use this dark mix, the mother mix, this is the one, which you should have plenty of still. And I'm going to show you how to do your trees. Now your trees come in two types, come kind of grinning trees and glum trees, if you will, or happy trees and sad trees, doesn't matter. I push, that's where my stick will be, that's where my trunk is. As I go in and I push up with the brush, the bristles bend down. As they bend down, you get what we call happy trees. Do you get that? Yeah? Watch, let's do it again. I can see now, can't you? There you go. So if I push up, the bristles bend down and you get happy trees. You know what I'm going to say to you next. Let's get the stick in. So if I press down, guess what you get? You get the sad trees. Seriously folks, that is all you need to do with these trees. A lot of people try to shape them. Please don't. Just let the knife do the work. Just scrape that off. There we go. Load up the brush. Right. I'm going to keep my palette down here. I'll keep loading up my brush, telling you what I'm doing. So we're going to put some trees in. So let's get some big trees in. So I'm going to put one in here. This is quite a big tree, as you can see, and bring it down to there. I always do this. It helps me work out where my trees are going to be. Let's put that one in there. Whoops. Like I say, it's just give me an idea. And one down here. Always put one at an angle like so. And we could even have one here just going off the canvas. So once we have done that, we then start doing the trees. So we load that brush up, get that nice chisel edge. Look how I come into it. I'm going to do this one here, furthest away. Okay, so I'm coming into an angle. I'm not putting my brush full on, it's just at the angle. So I just tap the top, that's all I'm doing. Now as I'm coming down, I then start to open the brush up a little bit more. And we're calling one of these are called a Z tree. So you go out, you tap back in, drop down and go out, tap back in, drop down and go out, tap back in, drop down and go out. And that's all we're doing. And just filling in a little bit more, making them a bit more substantial. And there's one tree done. As simple as that. Okay, as simple as that. And I'm going to come to this tree here. And I know it's going to go out of my canvas, but I quite like do my trees, so always make sure that one goes out. Just kind of, so I'm not too worried about the left side of this tree, or indeed the right side, because it is very close to this tree here. So I know it's going to get covered up anyway. I'm going to go to this one here, again coming into that, just like so, just to get the top, it's the corner of the fan brush you're using there, just to get the top limbs sorted, and then as it comes down, let it drop out, let it come out, and then it comes down. Now again, I'm not too worried about what's going on here, because this will be dark anyway. There we go. And then the big one up here, this is the important one. There we go, just tap him out. There we are. And then move it across. Drop it down. Move it across. Drop it down. And again, once we get down to this area here, it doesn't matter, because just fill it in, because it will be filling. It's going to be dark, this area. There we go. So what you have there, you've got quite a number of, we've got 4 trees in there. If you wanted to add a little bit more, just by putting the, just by tapping, you can do. Just be careful, don't get silly, please. Again, it's one of those things that once you get used to doing something and it's working out, you think, oh great, and then it goes, oh, to pot. Okay, so once we've done that side, we're going to do this side. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Oh, you'll be able to see me. Yeah. Right. So again, we'll have one here. I'm just filling that brush. One here. You can have as many as these as you like, or as few as you like. Seriously folks, this is your painting, your painting. That one, we'll have that one a bit higher than that one there, shall we? Yeah, this is the daddy. This is the daddy. And we're going to go through that white paint, aren't we? Oh dear. One there. Excuse me. And we'll do a small one here. Oh yeah, he's only a small one. Oh, we got 5. Ooh. This is good practice. Do as many as you like. You can do 3, 2. If you only want to do 1, do 1. This is your painting. please, 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 this is your painting. If you think I'm not doing that, David, you can, all right then, you do what you want. I'm just doing them. I'm doing them as many as I have done, really just to show you the technique, and you can see the brushwork that I'm doing, that I'm using to get the effect. So that's why I've not just done a few, one or two. That's why I've done quite a number, so you get the idea, because each time you can see me come on with the brush, yeah, tap out, into the middle, tap out, there we go, yeah, there we go. Not too worried again what's going on down there. Some people, I'll give you a demonstration, some people do this, they drop the angle of the brush and they push in like that, and then they turn the brush and push in like that, and like that, and like that. If you're doing that now, well, if that's a desired effect, if that's what you want, I would never ever stop you from saying, right, we'll crack on with that. All I'm showing you is the technique which I use, the technique which is used by many people, who should remain nameless, to get these trees looking in the way that they look. But the thing is, which I will always say, it is such a quick way. That's the key thing about this, is the speed of what you can do these trees. English as it is spoken, eh folks? English as it is spoken. I'll go to this one here. I'll cover up that one now. Down it comes. So the more, as I'm getting further down, I'm applying far more pressure, opening up the bristles, yeah, of the brush. That's what I'm doing, opening up those bristles. Excuse me. And then finally, the big one, the big daddy, the daddy of them all. And there we go, up he goes. Turn the brush if you want. Sometimes you find that the brush itself, you prefer a wet. Sometimes it works holding it one way, then it works better than the other way, so sometimes you do end up doing that. And all I'm doing there is just simply filling it. Alright, so there are your trees. Again, I apologise for the cough. Once we've done that, ooh, we're going to get a bit of brown. And I mean just a little bit of brown, and you're going to take some white paint to it, so that you have a nice little roll of white paint with brown on your knife. And all you're going to do is put a suggestion of tree trunks. That's all you're going to do. Okay, now look, I'm holding the knife, and you're literally going to touch the canvas and pull off. Pull off, okay? So look where it should be, so we'll put it in like so. That's all you do. I don't think you can see much there, so I'm going to put a little bit more white with that, and you get the idea. You can have this as dark as you like. Let's go there, there we go, there we go. All you're simply doing is just touching. You're not going all the way up the tree. That's the last thing you want to do. And do exactly the same here as well. Can you see me? Hoping you can. Up it goes. There's another one there. There we go. There we go. Sorry, I'm just gonna, you can't really see those, so let's just go like so. There we are. There we go. Once you've done that, you can then use a knife, the top of the knife, that bit there, just to run the tops of the trees to get a nice little point. That's if you want to do that. That's all you're doing. Ooh. There we go. And also you can put some up using that, just put some, so there's something going on behind these trees as well. And there you go. Well done. If you've done that, that's great. And all we're going to do next is just highlight them. To highlight them, we must clean the brush. We must clean that brush. wipe it off again, make sure it's nice and dry, nice and dry. We're now going to put the highlight on. Highlight colour is that good old Prussian blue with some white again. So, for the highlight of the trees, we're going to use a mixture of titanium white with some Prussian blue with some liquid white. And the reason why I'm putting the liquid white on is because that will thin the Prussian blue, that blue colour we're going to create with the titanium white and the Prussian blue. It's going to thin it out because this is a thick paint, so for us to get the highlights on there, we have to use a thin paint which will stick to a thick paint. That's all we're simply doing. So all I'm going to do is decide on what colour I want with my highlights. That's just going to be some blue and some white, titanium white. Now you might want to use I do remember too, when you're mixing this colour, there it is, when you're mixing this colour with the titanium white and the Prussian blue, that you are going to be using some of that liquid white there, which I've picked up on there, and I'm going to mix it into that Prussian blue colour. Okay? Quite a bit there, and it's nice and thin. That's what you want. That's what you want. If it's too thick, it will not stick. It will not stick to the tree. Okay, now I've done that. I'm going to load it with my fan brush, which is now nice and dry. Now the key thing to this is as well, also you don't want to contaminate that blue, so after every time, when you've done your bit of your highlighting, do clean the brush. Okay, so if he says that once more, loaded the brush, watch what I'm doing. I'm not creating what I've created there. I'm just touching and getting out. I'm only highlighting the tops of I'm only highlighting the branches. Okay, so let's start with this one here, and I'm going in with the corner of the brush. I'm just going to tap. There we go. Now as it gets down to the bottom, I'm not going to bother down here because it will be dark. Now I've done that side. I'll do on this one here. Notice I'm not covering the whole of the tree. Yep, I'm not covering the whole of the tree. Wipe off, get some more. I'm coming in here, just catching the top. There we go. Now I'm going to go for the big one. The big one, I've just wiped the brush again. And here we go. Catch the top. There we go. Keeping my darks. Keeping those darks. If I do not keep those darks, then you lose all definition of your tree. You've got to have those darks. If this all becomes blue, it just becomes a bit of a mess, which you don't want. So please be very careful, because people start highlighting and they love it, think, oh, this is great. I love this highlighting, David, and then they call me over and I can't see any dark at all. It's all disappeared. It is so important to leave your dark. You leave your dark, you create depth. That's all we're doing. So I'm going to get some, and we're going to go onto this side. Again, we're going to go to the small one first. I always go to the small one first. Just catching the top. There we go. Simple as that. Get some more paint. And we're going to put some on this one here. Get some more. Put some on this side as well. Just round, well, you're just looking where the branches are and just tapping down gently. And we're going to go for the big one now. This is in the front of them all. Whoops. There we go, there we go. Okay, so what we've done there, we've left it a bit dark under here, which is what we want. If I just come this side, it's because of the way the light's shining. Yeah, and there's your highlight. Be careful, like I say, you can end up putting too much highlight on, and if you put too much highlight on, you lose your dark, and before you know it, you've got a mess. And I'm not there to help you and say, oh David, what have I done? I'm just going to put some in there. There we go. There we go. The other thing is, as well, know when to stop. Know when to stop. Those are your trees, they're all highlighted. Excuse me, I'm just going to clean my brush. Sorry about this, folks, but the thinners are on the other side of the easel. Right. Near the end now. I'm going to put some snow in. We're going to be using that titanium white, of course. But first of all, what we're going to do is just pull the bottoms. Because we've got paint on here already, just catch the bottom of those trees and just, with your fan brush, clean fan brush, and just gently grab and pull. Think of your angles. Yeah, these are coming in this way, they're going to come in that way. So just think of your angles and just grabbing. Very lightly, this is, folks, very lightly. Again, take the excess paint off on your kitchen roll and let that run into the, there we go. Now that basically is shadow. That's all that is, that's shadow. That's all you're doing. And this here, again, perhaps just the bottom of it, that's good. There we go. Again, just clean that brush. Just think of your angles. Once you've done that, get some white paint now on that fan brush. Make sure it's clean. And just take, there we go. Keep going into that white. There we go. Create that snow, but they bring the white into the dark colour rather than going up there. We can do the same on the other side. Do the same on this side. Just get the paint on the brush, the fan brush, and take it up. Now what we're going to do here, we're going to make sure that this one here overlaps this one. So what we're going to do is bring this down, take it over that one. There we go. Just let it, just put a little bit of blue with that, just to add a little bit of shadow. There we go. There we go. Just add a little bit of shadow. So it pushes that back. Careful with the blue, don't get too mad with it, but it's, there we are. Okay. That pushes that bit back there. Now then, this is a completed painting. Well done. But I do know, this is your surprises, I do know that you like to put something else on there. Yes, that surprise. And we know what that surprise is. This is entirely up to you now. Entirely up to you. If you want to put this in, you can put it in. If you're happy with this painting, that's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. You can leave it. You can leave it. You can put some grasses in if you want. And that's just using a bit of dark. I'm not going to be too much because I'm just showing you. And all you're doing is just with the fan brush and just pull up, just clean off. Try clean that brush, and all you're going to do is just catch the bottom. There we go. And there's some grasses. Now you can do that all over your painting if you so wish to. But the reason why I've shown you that, because you might say, well, what we're going to do next I don't want to do. And you know what I'm going to be asking you to do? Yes, you've asked for this. This is your request, it would appear, as well. But like I say, not all of you will want to do this. We're going to put a cabin in. A cabin. Oh dear. This is where it all goes to pot. Use your knife. You're going to use your knife to create the shape. Okay? So, using a knife, decide where you want your cabin. So if you're going to put your cabin in there, yeah, put your knife there, and all we're going to do is just pull the shape, the roof. That's all we're going to do. Wipe off, and that will go on that side as well. And then we're going to pull down, pull down, pull down, pull down. There we go. Once you've got that shape cut out, I mean there's no problem once you've done it. There we go. All you're doing is getting that excess paint off, you know. That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing. Once you've done that, you're going to get your white paint, just a nice little roll of white paint, so you know where you're going with it. It does help. You're just going to put the shape of your, where you're going to, there's my roof there, and then it's going to come down like so, and that's going to be like so. Then you're going to get a roll of white paint, and you're going to take it to the roof and you're going to pull down. So nice and gentle like your mountain, just nice and gently. Doesn't come off, just put some more in. Okay, so again, down it comes. Whee! Whee! And we're going to put some on the other side. There we go. There we go. All right, this is where your brown comes in. We're just going to get some pure brown. Now the brown, it's going to be dark on this side, so we're just going to get the brown just with a tiny bit of white, just to line it just a little bit. That's all. And then again a roll of paint. And then all we're going to do is just pull down, there we go. And once you've done that side, we're then going to do the front. Again, you're going to use a bit of white in, it's going to be lighter. There we go. Then with your white paint, your titanium white, by the way. I'm just going to put the idea, it's as though there's some boards there, just tap, there we go. Tap, 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 tap. You can try. I'm loving you for allowing me to do this. As though I'm a cabin person. And then we can put some down on this side as well, on this side, just on the other side. Woo! And we're going to put a big door in, so we're going to use our dark colour, not the brown, the dark colour that Mother Mix have been using throughout the painting. So we're going to put the front door in here. There we go. I hope you're all doing this. Let's just put a bit more black dark in there. There we go. And put a window in. There we go, and a window in there. There we go. Also put some eaves, the eaving, just put under here. There, just. There we go. Oh, we're nearly there. Get some white paint again on the side, and all we're going to do is just emphasize the fact we got the door there. It's not working, is it? Come on, let's have some paint there. Let's go. There we go. Up on one side, up on the other side, and then just take it across the top. There you go. And we'll just put some a bit on the windowsill here. Windows. There you go. Folks, we've nearly done it. Now I'm going to do a cadimectomy. So just scrape the bottom off. And that will go like so. Just there we go. And then all you need to do now is get some white paint. Paint on the old fan brush. And then all we're going to do now is just sit this cabin into the painting. There we go. Some more white paint. There we go. Oh yeah. And there we are, folks. Cabin in your painting as well. If you wanted to sign it, I know you haven't got the brushes for it, but you may have one around. But if you have something like what they call a rigger brush, something like that, a very thin one, which you can sign your name with, or a liner brush, just get some thinners and just use some of the dark colour, the blue, whatever. Doesn't matter which colour, as long as it's a colour which you're going to be able to see your signature. And why don't you sign it? Hey, why don't you sign it? Here we go, let's go. I'm going to sign it down here. There we go, Wiles. There we go. Always make it, the painters are like an ink consistency, you really do. Really have to make it nice and thin. And let's get the S in there, David. There we go. And there you are. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that painting. It's been good fun. Putting that cabin in at the end was a surprise. Although I knew one or two of you did want to put a cabin in. It's there. If you have done it, I hope it's turned out right for you. Sometimes you think, when you're doing something like that, you think, oh no, if I do it I might spoil it. That's why I always give people the options. If you want to do one, do one. If you don't, don't. But I've enjoyed being with you. I hope you've enjoyed the painting. Limited palette, limited equipment, but very, very well done to all of you. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.